I want to talk to you about resisting arrest. Without violence, it's a misdemeanor of the first degree. Basically, resisting an arrest is not obeying an officer's lawful command. If you don't do what a cop tells you to do, that's a misdemeanor, and we're going to talk about that. But there's so many ways to defend this, so many ways to get arrested for this, that we're going to break it down. And we're going to start with a pretty common theme here, which is running from the cops. If you run from the cops, they're probably going to arrest you for resisting an officer without violence. However, they're not going to be able to convict you most of the time. So I'm going to run you through some real life examples of just how this law works and what the defenses are. In Garcia v. State, Garcia is chilling with some friends and the sheriff's van pulls up. And you know, they kind of launch out of these vans, right? When they launch out of this van, they yell sheriff's office. And guess what Garcia does? Bolts, runs. They catch Garcia, arrest him for resisting, convict him of resisting. And Garcia goes and appeals his decision and said, hey, flight alone is not enough to convict me of a crime. And the court said, yeah, that's true. And yeah, we've said that many times. But Garcia, you were in a high crime area. And whenever you're in a high crime area, that is suspicious behavior to run from the cops. So therefore, Garcia's resisting an officer conviction, that stuck. Cannot run from the cops in a high crime area. It's just too suspicious. It's kind of odd to discriminate between a good neighborhood and a bad neighborhood. Seems like people in a bad neighborhood have less rights, but that is the law. And you see that sort of went down in another case of TB v. State. A anonymous 911 caller says, look, there's this black male looking into windows. It's kind of suspicious. The cops show up to the area. They see a dude that looks like the description and they yell, hey, we need to talk to you. TB takes off running. Eventually, they keep yelling at him to stop. Eventually, they catch up with him. They arrest him for resisting. They convict him of resisting. And TB appeals his case just like Garcia and everybody else did and said, wait a second, can't I run from the cops? Isn't this a free country? And the court overturned his conviction and said, yes, you can run. In TB's case, the state couldn't prove up the high crime area element and couldn't prove up the suspicious behavior of looking into windows. If the cop saw TB looking into a window like the 911 caller said, we wouldn't be having this discussion. The conviction would have stood. The cop didn't see TB doing anything suspicious. And it's not suspicious to run in a good neighborhood. So TB was in a good neighborhood because the state couldn't prove he was in a bad one. TB's conviction was thrown out. So with these examples, and there are many more, you can see it's really tough to convict somebody of resisting arrest when all they've done is run from the cops. You have to look at the circumstances, piece it out detail by detail to see if there's a defense to the case or no defense. So I wish you luck on your resisting arrest charge.